Hey, what's up everybody? Tony with A LA LIDO LOCA, and I'm here to tell you how to make money for your cruise. Alright everybody, so a few days ago released a video talking about how to pay for your cruise. I'll link that video above and in the description below. But we talked about what are some ways that you can pay for your cruise. It talked about how you got to have a plan, how you got to have a strategy, and really the main thing it talked about is trying to figure out how much your cruise costs and then how much a month you need to pay for the cruise. And once you figure that out, you can schedule cruises out over time, constantly paying that same monthly amount so that you can go on one cruise a year or as many cruises as you can figure out. And so part of that, we talked about one way to free up money for your cruise. You could either make more money or you could spend less money. In this video, we're going to cover 10 ways that you can make more money. Now, these aren't any money-saving tips. There's going to be another video after this one. So make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel with the notification bell on so that you can get that next video talking about how to save money for your cruise ship. But first, we're going to go through 10 ways that you can make more money for your cruise. And I've broken it down into two sections. I'm calling one of them the straight up side hustle, and then that's half the list. And then the other half of the list, we're calling the creative hustle. And so we're gonna go through some techniques that I've used and some techniques that I've seen, but really keeping in mind this is a good way to make money for your cruise. So here's the exercise that you want to perform. Even before I get into the list, let's say that you've determined that you can go on a cruise for $2,400, or you can go on 2 cruises for $2,400. Regardless of what that number is, all you need to do is divide the cruise amount that you want to have each year by 12, and you can figure out how much money extra you need each month to fund your cruising addiction. So let's use $2,400 as an example. Say you want to dedicate $2,400 to travel, to cruising, really to anything. That means that you need $200 extra a month. If there's 4 weeks in a month, you need $50 extra a week. So the goal of this exercise is to figure out how to come up with $50 extra a week, and we're going to do it in addition to the money that you already have. That's what this video covers. Again, the next video will cover how to squeak out maybe that $50 in your current budget. But here we go. We're going to start with the straight up side hustles. Number 1 is a traditional part-time job. Now, you got to spread the net wide on this. Our goal here is to maybe commit 10 extra hours a week to make $50 a week if you want an extra $2,400 a year. And so a lot of times part-time jobs, they may want you for more than 10 hours. They may want you for less than 10 hours. So when you go to these places, you want to have a conversation with the hiring manager and say, look, I'm really trying to earn $50 extra a week. I feel like I could do that in 10 hours or 8 hours or whatever. What's best for your schedule? Now, if you're going to try to do something like fast food or retail, you're really going to have a good chance if you play into where they really need people. Now, the cool thing about working in both of those jobs, especially if you're older, there is a perceived stability that comes with the older worker. Now, it's a perception, right? There's some really go-getting young folks, and there's some really slack old folks. But overall, if you're somebody with an established job and you go to a hiring manager at a fast food place or a retail outlet and say, hey, look, I'm just trying to earn some extra money. You don't have to tell them what for, but you could tell them it's for a cruise. Maybe they're cruisers. That might help you out. And tell them, look, I'll be happy to work. What's your worst day? It's Saturday. Okay, I can do 8 hours on Saturday. You can count on me every day. But you got to spread the net wide. So you can't just go to one place and hope that they're accommodating. It might happen. But so that, when in the past, whenever I wanted targeted work for just a specific amount of time, I had to talk to a lot of places. And then you're going to run into that one person that says, yeah, that's perfect for us. Come work for us on Saturday. That's what I've done. In the past, I've delivered pizza for Pizza Hut and Papa John's. I've delivered the newspapers in Nashville, the Nashville Tennessean. I've had jobs at Office Depot, Kinko's, just a variety of places, and all of those I went with a really specific agenda. I want to work this amount of hours because I want to make this amount of extra money, and it's just build a rapport and you're likely to get a job like that. Now, some people after working 40 hours a week or 50 hours a week, they don't want to be locked into another set schedule, and so the next items on the list, that was number 1, so the next items on the list are on the side hustle that you control when you work and how you work. So I'm going to start off with number 2, ride sharing. So ride sharing is it's on the rise. It's been in most major cities for the last few years. And this is where individuals use their own personal vehicle and get connected through an app, and they go and pick up strangers and they put them in their car and they drive them places. The big players in that space, of course, Uber and Lyft. I actually, when I left my corporate job back in 2015, I tried Uber for almost a whole year. I drove 5 to 6 days a week just to see how much money I could make. I'm going to tell you, I really feel like that's definitely a side hustle type income. I struggled to make regular income at it. And when I did make really good money, I had to work all day. I'm talking 14, 15 hours, and that's a lot of driving. But it is a good way if you want to make some extra money. Now, you got to keep in mind that you have to track your expenses. You're treated as an independent contractor, and it puts some wear and tear on your car. But if you do it smart, so here in Charlotte when I was doing it, I knew that and if I was going to do it part-time now, I know that there's certain times of the day that are super popular for people going to the airport from certain part of town. So, when I was just doing it kind of as a part-time deal, I would get up at 5 in the morning. I would go to the area of town where there were a lot of business travelers going to the airport, and I would just go to the airport, and I would come back out of the airport, and I would go to the airport again, and I would work from 5 to 9 in the morning, and I could make, $18, $19 an hour before expenses driving Uber. It's weird though, because honestly, you're letting a stranger get in your car, and most of the time that's no big deal at all. Every once in a while, it's kind of weird. So just keep that in mind. Same thing when you start using these services. I'm getting in a stranger's car. It's kind of weird, but a good way to make some extra coin. I did that for a while. All right, so the rideshare is cool, and I'm going to put a link to all these services down in the description below. If you want to check that out. Now, a less weird version that I never tried is actually food delivery from a rideshare perspective. So the model's basically the same. You have individuals working as independent contractors driving their own car, but in this case, they go and pick up food and they take food to other places. So Uber's in that game too. Uber Eats, and then Postmates is another big one that do this. I don't have experience as to what kind of money you could make there. If anybody does, please leave a comment below. But it is a little less, it's more traditional. You're just delivering food. It's not picking up somebody. There's still some sort of element of, got to be cautious, stranger danger, because you are interacting with the public. So for the most part, though, seeing Uber and these food delivery, millions of transactions happen without issue. But like everything else in society, you just got to stay cautious. Both of these, I don't think I mentioned it during Uber, both of these you set your own schedule. You turn the app on when you want to work. You turn it off when you don't want to work. And so it's really flexible. That was the power I found it. Really flexible. All right, number 4 is very similar to numbers 2 and 3. This is Airbnb, and so instead of leveraging your car to take people on rides or to deliver food, you're going to leverage some space in your home to give people a place to sleep. And so we used Airbnb for the first time just about a month ago. It was a great experience. This gentleman had converted his basement into a rental space, and I think we paid like $75. I'm not sure what the split between Airbnb and the person doing the hosting is, but I would think it would be high. And so it was great. And so if you got a spare bedroom that you can fix up and you can be hospitable, if you got maybe an apartment over your garage or any space. I saw somebody on Airbnb who had a swimming pool that was allowing or selling plots in his yard for people to camp out, bring a tent, camp out, and use his swimming pool and hot tub. Didn't even have them in the house. So an interesting side hustle there. If you have the space, even, people rent out bedrooms. It's a whole new culture. You could even get by with one bedroom, and it's a good way to make some extra coin. Airbnb, again, there's a link for all these things in the description below. And then the last item is probably the one that's been around the longest. I've dabbled with it even since the 90s. It's reselling. And so the idea is that sometimes you can find things that have value and you can get them for cheap, and you can sell them for more. There's a lot of platforms that you can do this on. eBay is the classic. If you want some money for your cruise, clean out all your closets, figure out the process to list on eBay. It's pretty easy, and just sell all that stuff, and you'd be surprised how much money you have. But there's people that do it as a, for a living. When I was doing Uber, I also did reselling on eBay and Amazon, and part of my daily routine was to hit the local Goodwills and try to find things that I could sell for value on eBay that I could get for cheap at Goodwill, and you can make a good living. It's a hustle, it's a grind, it's a lot of work. It's hard to make that a full-time living, but there's people that do it, but it's really, if you really can, just want to make 50 or 60 bucks a week, that's pretty achievable, and it's kind of fun. It's fun to go treasure hunting, at least it was for me. And so I would start by cleaning out my closets. I got some of that I need to do actually myself, and then hit the thrift stores, and you can get in a weekly cycle of reselling books or toys, or and you can make a little extra money. Now, all these things you're doing, you basically have a small business, so it's really important for taxes to track your mileage, track your expenses, track your time. So when you do make this extra $2,000, $3,000 a year, it's going to show up as income somewhere. If you're working for Uber, they're going to send you a 1099. If you make enough money reselling on Amazon, they're going to send you a 1099. So there's going to be a record of this income, and so the tax man's going to look for you. So you got to make sure you think about that on the front end. I'm not a tax professional, not really giving any tax advice, but other than to say be mindful. But there's money to be made on the side hustle if you want to work for yourself. Or again, go the traditional route, get yourself a part-time job, and if you're trying to make $2,400 a year, it only takes $50 a week, and that should be doable, I think, within 10 hours. All right, so those were 5 what I consider side hustles. I'm going to give you, not 5, I'm going to give you 6 creative hustles, so 5 plus a bonus. The reason I split the creative hustles out is because it's a longer pole in the tent. You could get signed up for Uber within a week and start making that $50 within a 2-week time period and begin your cruise fund. These creative hustles are a little more challenging to get off the ground and to make money. But once you get them going, once you get your system down, I think $50 a week is fairly reasonable. So the first one I'm going to recommend to you is Fiverr. It's a freelancing website. Almost any creative skill that you have, you can market on Fiverr. If you're a good writer, if you're a good graphic designer, if you edit video, if you edit music, if you create music, you can put your wares up on Fiverr. And the website started out as a place where you could go pay $5 to get anything done. It's evolved. You can set your own prices. And once you build up a reputation as somebody who delivers good projects, you can start increasing your price. And so if you go on Fiverr and you poke around, just look for copywriting, you'll see people that charge $10, $15, $20 for a piece of work. You get to establish your own schedule for delivery. And so you really could start out and get yourself established as a creator and build a clientele and make money on your own time, extra money on Fiverr. All right, number 2 on the creative hustle, and I'm just starting to get into this one myself, is selling stock photography and selling stock video. There's a huge demand in this age of creativity for great pictures, for great video, and you don't always have to capture that yourself. So there's people that are working on media projects that will go out to these different websites and they'll buy pictures, they'll buy video, and those are pictures and videos supplied by anybody. And so a big one in the space is Shutterstock. You can do a Google search. There are tons of people that will buy your photography, buy your video. Shutterstock is a big player. I'll leave a link in the description below. I haven't submitted anything yet, but I've been mindful now when I go out and I shoot a video, or I go out and I'm trying to start to think about how do I take pictures or take video that might be reusable for somebody else if I don't use them in our vlogs. And so what would be better than getting paid for your pictures and your video, and people are doing it. So give it a YouTube search. It's amazing the amount of conversation around selling stock photography. Again, I think it's probably one of those things that's going to take a while to ramp up, but once you get going, once you get enough material up there for sale, I think you could probably easily make $50 a month. But stock photography, creative hustle number 2. Creative hustle number 3, it is a site called Text Brokers. And I've tried this out. Basically, you take writing assignments and write press releases, and they pay you by the word. And so I've only done a couple articles. The way the process works is you sign up, you do a writing sample, and then that writing sample is graded. And then based on your grading, they pay you a certain amount per word. And now I've done about 3 articles. They were between 150 and 200 words each. and I made $7 per article. So over about a week, I was able to make $21. I had to do a little research. So I think all in, I probably put an hour or 2 hours in each article. And so, 6 hours for $21, not great. But I did see my writing ranking improve. I think everybody starts out like a 3-star. It's a 5-star system. And then you improve. And then a 5-star, they actually pay really good money. Again, I think it's a grind to get established there. But it's interesting writing. I had to research some prison systems and all kinds of stuff like that. But if you're a good writer and you like to research, I think you could probably figure out a good workflow to make that be quick, and that you could knock out some articles. So, for example, I wrote on a prison system that cuts off Wi-Fi so that they couldn't use contraband cell phones. There were 10 assignments around that. And so once I did the initial research, I was able to write multiple articles. So I think there is a path there to easily make some money sitting in front of your computer doing some researching and writing. But text brokers, it's a pretty interesting way if you're a writer, or even, you don't have to be a great writer. You can get out there and start writing some information. And number 4 on the creative hustle is one that we use at La LIDO LOCA. It's t-shirt design. So the shirt that I'm wearing here, the La LIDO LOCA Cruising Community, established 2017. This is a shirt that I designed, and there's a lot of on-demand print services where it costs you $0 to go out there and design a t-shirt, and then it's up to you to market the t-shirt. And so it's a really great way to make extra money if you're creative at all. Look, I'm not a great graphic artist. I was able to do this. I like the shirt. This is probably one of my favorite shirts that we've made so far. And all I did was upload it and put it for sale. And so if you have any kind of design skill, if you are an artist at all, if you have a witty saying, you can put that on a t-shirt, get it out there to your friends on Facebook or wherever you have a troop of people massed up, and you might be able to sell a t-shirt, make something funny for your family. Who knows? But easily, if you sell, a few t-shirts a month, you can make that, you can make your $200 or your $50 a week. It's really doable. And so, t-shirt design. We use Teespring. I don't know if I said that. I'll put a link below. And they seem, I don't know why one would be better than the other. There's other players, Spreadshirt, a couple different, but Teespring's what we use. So, and I'll leave a link if you're interested in La LIDO LOCA t-shirts. I'll leave a link in the description below. You can check that out. All right, so number 5 in the creative space, blogging, vlogging, live streaming, being a personality on camera is a way to make money. There are bloggers who have written for many years that when you go to their blog, they have strategically placed advertisement, they have affiliate links, they have sponsorship, and all those are revenue generating paths. If you got something interesting to say, if you feel like you could build an audience around what you're talking about, write a blog. Again, it's going to be fun, it's going to be creative, something that you're interested in, and you're going to be able to create. Same thing with YouTube. It's hard to make money on YouTube from, say, advertisement. You have to build 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, and so that's a little bit of a haul. That's not, we talked about Uber. In 2 weeks, you're going to be making your $50 a week. YouTube, it takes a lot longer than that. Same thing with the live stream. And then even on live streaming, there's opportunities for donation through Super Chat and just donation through like PayPal. So it's a little longer pole in the tent, but if you have that creative bent and you feel like you have something that you want to say that you feel like you can share with an audience, there are ways to monetize that. And then you can use that monetization to fund your cruising addiction. We have some experience with that. Part of our motivation, not only to document our lives for our kids, to share our lives with you, but to build some unique revenue streams so that we can maybe escape the normal 9 to 5 and be able to make a living off of sharing our creative efforts with you guys. We love it. We didn't really know that we loved it until we got into it. The cool thing about all these, it's not a one or, right? You could work a part-time job, drive Uber. You could create YouTube videos. You could write for text brokers. You could work a part-time job. You could drive Uber. The cool thing is you can cull together so many different revenue streams. The question just becomes, what is the number you're trying to make? And can you do it with all those? Now, I think all of these are great for making that cruise budget number. And, again, some of the creative ones maybe you can grow over time to make it into your cruise budget number and your pay your bills number. So those are 5 creative ways, and I'm going to give you one bonus, and this is for the crafty people out there. There's a site called Etsy. I don't know if everybody uses Etsy, but it is a place where you can sell your crafty wares. So if you're the person that does wood burning into, you know, slices of logs, or if you make cute mailbox signs or anything, say you make sculptures, say you 3D print action figures, it's endless. But Etsy is primarily for people who have crafted their own thing or curated their own thing. I know a guy who buys vintage t-shirts and has kind of a curated Etsy shop, but primarily Etsy is for created things. And so if you got a 3D printer that you might use for some other purpose, maybe you can make something creative out of it, something collectible that people would like. Who knows? It's endless possibilities. So that's the bonus. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful. 5 ways you can make extra money on the side hustle, 5 ways and a bonus that you can make money on the creative hustle, and all of it with the goal to end up with more money to go cruising. Again, the process: figure out how much money a month you need, then break that down to figure out how much money a week extra you need to make, and then take one of these techniques and make that money. And go on a cruise. I did not realize when we started this how addicting going on a cruise is. In the next video, we are going to talk about ways that you can save money for your cruise, where you can cut back in your budget, and offer some of those tips. So make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on so you get that one. Hit the like button. It's so helpful. It helps me know that these are the kind of videos that you like to make, and I think it helps the video show up to other people. So help out a stranger. And again, we carry on the conversation over on Facebook at the La Lido Loca cruising community. Everybody's welcome over there. Come on over and hang out with us. And I guess that's it. My name's Tony, and I'm with La Lido Loca. And until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido.